So when you become a father and you realize that this child is absorbing everything constantly, then you think, okay, if I want my child to be confident, and I myself have to be self-assured and assertive, and I have to treat her in a way that builds her self-esteem, that makes her feel valued and respected and free to share her thoughts and speak her mind and have her needs met, and uh, you know make her feel like she has genuine agency and personal power. And yeah, so it's really a challenging thing if you're avoidant and socially anxious, and but yet you want your child to, I mean, another thing that can happen is that uh, avoidant uh, people become permissive parents, and they over indulge the kids, and they allow them to exaggerate and amplify their anger, and these kids may seem to be confident, but it's a kind of brittle, fragile confidence that really dependent on dominating others and controlling others and having their way, me, my, I'm, so genuine confidence. And that's just one of the personality traits. So becoming a father really challenged me to want to change, to really want to change. Like before, I wanted to, but it was just for me, and so I didn't really have the motivation. But for this child, I would do anything, And so I I really dug deep, and I began to do things differently, to do me differently. But yeah, so that situation, that problem with my wife, and like it completely destabilized our daughter, and she began to have rage panic episodes a lot like her mom's. And so I had to really apply myself and figure out what are we going to do here, because part of the reason we were locked in the struggle was because I didn't know how to address my upset with my wife, So she would have this explosion. She'll be on a certain roller coaster, and I'm on my roller coaster, which the exploder, they're feeling good. Then there's these stresses and triggers that are upsetting them and frustrating them, and then they're losing control, and then they explode and they erupt, and they throw out, externalize all this difficult stuff inside of them, this volcanic material, and they dump it onto you, and then they're feeling better again, and they block out any other emotions, like they don't want to feel the shame and the guilt of what they did. And a lot of it is just kind of locked into that traumatic memory system anyway, so it's so easy to just pretend like it never happened, and they expect you to pretend like it never happened. And then the cycle goes on and on and on, because the avoidant, submissive, is afraid of confrontation. And, so you receive this terrible burden of this person's rage and blame and accusation and hitting and whatever else happened. And you hold it inside of you, and it's like very disturbing in all these many ways, and you have to find a way to process it and release it somehow. And so the imploder finds implosive methods to release this thing out of themselves, and then we feel better and we can breathe again, and then the cycle can go on and on again. And but she doesn't want to talk about it because she's afraid to open up that box again. And he doesn't want to talk about it because he's also afraid to go there. And so they avoid and avoid and avoid, and it just keeps on going. And so one of them has to shift and try something different. And So there is actually this window of opportunity, where both of them are feeling good and not yet in the stress phase or the eruption phase. And so when they're feeling good, they can actually come together and say, what, let's talk about what happened, and this is how I feel about it. And, then genuine emotional exchange can result in better understanding and maybe a resolution to do something like go see a therapist, couples therapist, or something. But anyways, in our case, we were locked in this thing for something like 1.5 years before my daughter became completely destabilized, and I decided, no, this can't happen. And so I quit my job and we sold our apartment and furniture and everything, and we went on a healing adventure for 4 or 5 months around the southern coast of Africa.